Musical knows what they're doing. I like a chance to bring in High School Musical.
Hello. We back.
We said
Mose,
we...
go lay down. Go.
We said we,
Wait, let's do this with Mose in the crate or something.
He's fine. Hi, Mose. You're good.
Alright.
It's fine. This is our lives. We're not professionals. We're just people doing our best.
That's for sure. We're definitely not professionals. This has been the hardest thing ever.
Well, and he's clean, and I paid attention to him, and he's all cute, because look how curly he is right now.
He is cute.
And he's cute when he's clean, and he's not clean often, so he's trying to capitalize on the attention that I gave him. So I will give him a moment, because he's been on the pre-record. So I'll give him a moment. A little shout out to Clean Nose and Clean Kiki, who's back there doing their best. But wait, just a quick cheers for showing up for a second time. Because
I don't know why the sound effects the class in itself.
I think we're like so delusional in a WTF way.
For sure. What I feel like maybe like a week has passed since we recorded the first episode.
And not because that was our plan.
But
our plan was like, we're just gonna do this. We're gonna go hard.
For sure.
We're gonna because we also like that was a lot of fun.
For sure, it was fun.
But
then we realized there's a lot to it after the fact, after we recorded.
Well, and it's like we're not brand new, right? Like, I grew up doing video editing. I went to even a high school that had state of the art video camera equipment, the big professional cameras. I'm well versed enough in editing, and even at this point, it's such a part of culture, that I knew, but what I did not anticipate, and this is funny because I remember probably the day before we started filming, I was reading our horoscopes, and it was you have this idea and you have to just do it. You have to just go for it. And this was it was on point for both of us, really in line with everything that we're doing right now, and everything that we're feeling and everything that we're being called to do. But it said, just know, be prepared that you are going to face a lot of obstacles, and the obstacles are tests. And I remember reading this to you, and you're like, say less, let's do this, we're going for it, no more excuses. We started recording the next day.
For sure.
What we did not anticipate was just
technology. Sometimes it's technology is easy, but at the same time, it has sometimes it wants to give you your challenges. Especially, I feel technology evolves so quickly.
Oh, let me get cozy because
that
way I'm not so mad.
You could have equipment you wouldn't consider old because we got it within the last 5 years. But 5 years in technology, a lot of times it's a lot. For a camera, for example.
That camera was 10 years old.
10 years old?
Yeah. Well, I got that with my master's program. So that was a little
that
free.
Was 10 years ago?
That was 10 years ago.
Wow.
That was 10 years ago.
For sure. So a 10-year.
But still, you would think that a camera. So, for example, hopefully, and if we don't have this in this next episode, then just know that we have spiraled into the depths of insanity. But we recorded a wide shot.
Yes.
For the first episode, and it was not featured in the first episode because the camera only records in the right format if you do the hokey pokey and turn yourself around. I don't know.
It records in the right format. One, you have to buy a certain memory.
Of course,
size,
you gotta buy.
Which,
of course.
Which we didn't know. We bought a big memory, but we didn't buy a big enough memory size. Micro
So
SD
size
card.
matters.
I guess
Apparently.
so, it does. And then the other thing is we would either have to like buy a software to convert the existing file into the file that we currently need it in, or we just go with the flow.
Go with the flow. And, you know, to be
just
honest,
use what we have.
Well, and then that was cool until before I even knew.
And
that
it was a
before
cool
that,
episode, by the way.
It
I
was
saw
cool
the
enough-
episode, and it was really.
It was cool enough
I
that
presume.
we kept it, because at first I was like, scrap it, because I really wanted the wide angle. I really wanted to show off our
They can see
artwork.
an episode.
So here's our beautiful artwork, homemade by me and a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
And we worked really hard on this. And then I go to edit it, and our whole computer crashed.
Yes. Another. Another situation where we have a computer.
And that's a new computer.
That's a
that
new
just
computer.
didn't have enough memory.
But yeah.
Just wasn't.
You don't like.
It just couldn't buy.
Once you're using a computer for this, for editing and doing things in this realm, you definitely need some more some more power.
Well, and
So-
the thing is like we anticipated those things, but we didn't think we were going to need them like right off the bat.
For sure.
We were like, our plan was like, use what we have,
Yes.
because we're regular people,
Yes.
and like we just want to build up and like, you know, be so delusionally optimistic that like, you know, we'll just take it slow, we'll upgrade, you know,
With
as
time-
with
like,
time
as
and with
time, for sure.
experience, because we also didn't want to just like go buy things.
For sure.
Because like that's what whoever says is the best thing to buy. Like
Mhm.
we want to buy things with knowledge of like what works for our space, what works for us.
Based off of what we've already
And,
kind of recorded.
And yeah, it's been an adventure. So here is to hopefully
It's been a fun adventure, though.
having a wide angle to
Yep.
see our cloud, because our cloud is literally a part of it.
Yeah.
And
But for those of you who watched the first episode and went and wondered, like, why isn't there a wide shot? There was a wide shot. It just didn't make it.
it just magically
We
was-
have it. We have it. It
It's-
might one day come out on a deep cut.
Sure. Sure. So that's been fun. It is really funny though, because right after we recorded that first episode,
Mm-hmm.
well, that was like a weekday, and so you had gone to work the next day. You weren't here,
Okay.
and me and Bubba were down here. It was in the morning, and he goes, "Wow, this is so cool. When we are all able to sit down and make our episodes, this is going to be so cool." And I
For
was
sure.
like, "Oh,
He's
Bubba."
really into it.
I was like, "Bubba, we actually did it last night."
Yeah.
He's like, "What?
Did he really?
You did it last night?
No.
When?" And I was like, "After you went to bed. That's our plan. Like, you guys go to sleep, we sit down, we hang out for a little bit." He's like, "Without me?" So we're parents of the year.
Wow.
He's devastated.
For
He
sure.
wants to
He
be
wants to
in
be in
this
it
so bad.
Well, I was watching it the other day, and he was like, he went in there, and
Yeah.
he's like, I don't remember what he said, but then he came down here, and he was like, you guys could have, your show, and then we can make another show with me in it. And I was like, this.
He's desperate for it.
Yeah.
But he truly is such a star.
For sure.
And like this is the hard part about like wanting to pursue this, but like also wanting to protect our kids. And like there's a lot to say about
There'll
like
be a time for it.
to consent to it.
Yeah.
This is something like he's shown so much interest
For sure.
in entertainment. Like I don't know if he's a regular kid. Like when some kids say like, oh, like I want to be a, like he's very clear. He wants to be an actor.
Yeah.
He wants to be Spider-Man, but he understands that he'll have to work with green screens and visual effects
Yeah.
and makeup and he has like a really thorough understanding of these things.
For sure.
And so I think there will be a day, but like until then, like I really don't want to put them out there.
I also feel like this is our thing.
For sure.
And so
100%.
I'm fine with him putting himself out there, but
Yeah.
like
In his own way.
in his own way, when he decides that it's like, I don't know, or when we decide that it's right, but also just something where it seems like we are benefiting in any way off of his image.
Oh, for sure. Like I want it to be like,
I'm cognizant of that.
Like as much as I know he's so interested in it, like he does not conceptualize consent, and I don't think he
For sure.
conceptualizes like how far-reaching something like this could be.
For sure.
And
You
dangers
hear
of the
stories that
internet,
are like, yeah.
and it just needs to be right. And I mean, there's some really incredible docuseries right now that I've watched. Just the last couple of months of what pursuing this journey as families does to families.
For sure.
And most families, I don't want to say most, I think most is maybe too extreme, but there's enough abuses
We've seen enough
this.
documentaries, for sure.
And
about like child stars.
For sure, even just about child stars, but
for sure.
But in the digital age, being online, being on YouTube, and you know, you always like to think like that could never be us, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Some of the things that people do and how they kind of exploit their children is
That's
a lot.
Like I would love for him to have his own thing and eventually
Would be great.
Like have his own account where he pays for his own college if he wants to, or
For
whatever,
sure.
or buys himself his own house. But yeah, kind of like it be his thing and him benefit off of his own image,
For
you know,
sure.
and it not be him on our stuff.
Not it be about us, not us,
For sure.
not us exploiting him, not us him having to do things against his will.
Yeah.
Like he's been like sitting down filming. I remember we got this little Ring camera and it had a little magnetic thing, and he'd say, "Mama, can I have your camera?" He was like 2,
Yeah.
and I have video of him like sitting down in front of a camera, like,
For sure.
"This is my," I'm gonna get like a
I remember those
Spider-Man. You remember, like,
episodes, for sure.
and maybe one day we can post those.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
like way down the line, he'll watch those and be like, "Oh, that needs to go on the internet," because they were so cute,
Yeah.
and he's so engaging.
I agree.
He's just the best. He's
Yes.
like, I can't even believe that we made literally the 2 most perfect humans
For sure.
in the world.
Yeah.
But it's just extra funny, like how much he wants to be involved in this, and we're like, we don't even say your name.
Talking about him, in that first episode, I remember you mentioning, like how he came into our lives, and I think that's like we touched on it so briefly, but I think that's definitely a story that we need to talk about. Is how Bubba came about, like how he came into our lives. So
this is the story
yeah.
about how I did not know I was pregnant
Until how long?
until I was 5.5 months pregnant.
5 months pregnant.
And
how can you be 5 months pregnant and not know that you're pregnant? Like that's
what
everybody
wonderful
is asking themselves.
That's a great question. Well, I can tell you that it happened to me, and I can tell you that it happened to us, and I can tell you that even the fact that we found out when we did, just because I was willing to ask weird questions that did not make sense when I asked them, we could have gone a lot longer, I think.
So let's paint the picture. Like so for the people that are out there that are getting to know us now, this was the year 2020.
It was 2020. And this was literally peak pandemic.
Well, even before that.
New York City.
Before that, we went
where
on a
were
trip.
we before that? What were you doing before that? I don't even. It's all a blur.
It's all a blur.
I'm
So,
sorry.
before that, we went on a trip to Europe, in which we went to Venice, where you grew up. And
right here. That was where we stayed.
That was during our trip. And so this is also the trip in which I proposed.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to Europe. We first go to Paris. We spend a couple days in Paris.
I remember, just as a side note conversation, but I remember wondering if you were going to propose to me because you had always said that you were going to propose to me like on a trip in Europe.
It was Valentine's Day
and
at the top of the Eiffel Tower.
I planned this because it was the day that we landed. And I was like, oh, like we have to go to the top of the Eiffel Tower
Valentine's Day
at sunset on Valentine's Day. And I remember we booked those tickets. This was my idea. I planned it. And I remember suddenly being so pissed. Like if this dude proposes
there
me,
for sure.
because there's also this story from college of this person I really didn't know, and I had made a really stupid comment, as one does. He like told this story of his parents being so in love and how like Valentine's Day was like the biggest deal, and for me like I was like what 18?
I don't lie. I thought you thought that I was gonna propose that day, and I was like, I'm gonna throw her off doing this, making her for some reason think that I'm gonna.
Well, okay, but let me just say, because this kid had told this story about his parents, and I was just like, me being a sassy 18-year-old and like wanting to just like challenge the idea of a consumer holiday, I was like, they couldn't pick their own day. Like, why did it have to be Valentine's Day? And this kid hated me ever since then, and I totally get it. Valid. I should have just said, oh, that's so cute, and moved on. I didn't think it was cute. And so suddenly my biggest fear was going to the top of the Eiffel Tower at sunset on Valentine's Day and you proposing to me. And I was like, this is karma. The whole time. I was I don't even remember this kid's name. And if he ever watches this, like, I apologize. I still mean that. But I do apologize for hurting your feelings. But I legitimately
But you would have been pretty much disappointed if
I would have asked you very respectfully to pick a different day. Like, wake up tomorrow.
Well, luckily for us, a couple of days later was also our anniversary for the first time we met.
Oh, our meet-iversary.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. It wasn't our meet-iversary.
And so
where we met in a club, the good old-fashioned way.
Yep. I saw you at the dance floor. I was like, all right.
That was my spot.
Yeah.
That's another story.
That's another story, yeah. Well, that'll be like a whole other episode. But yeah, so we take a flight from Paris to Venice, and then we land in Venice.
And that was weird.
And then there was people, I remember this, there was people in the airport wearing hazmat suits. And it was so weird because at this point, this was still February, like mid-February.
2020.
COVID was a thing that we heard about in the news, but it was only something that was happening in China. It was so far removed from like Western civilization, if you want to call it, like Western Europe or the United States. It was something that was just being reported on the news about this like virus that was out in China. But that was pretty much the extent of it.
Yeah, and mind you, Venice was the last place I lived before we met. That's where I went to high school.
Yeah.
I have gone in and out of Marco Polo Airport.
For sure.
A gazillion times.
Yeah.
I knew the second that they were filtering us in this weird line, and then they have people in full hazmats taking temperatures and like.
For sure.
And this was also in February. There's
Carnivale.
the festival of Carnivale, which I've also been to a gazillion times.
But the weird thing was that happened at the airport, right? But once we left the airport, that was like the end of that experience. Like we went into Venice, and Venice, at least in my opinion, was lively. It was Carnivale, like people were out.
No, I remember telling you something was weird.
You felt there was like
I
less
knew there was
people.
something weird. Listen, the Carnivale I grew up going to, you go into Venice, you can't even move.
Got it.
In the square.
It was a little like
and literally, like I tell
crowd.
this story, and I mean this like respectfully with love. But like you go into the square and there's just like a cloud of cigarette smoke hanging over this humongous crowd of people that it's like the most packed dance floor you've ever been on in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And the square was like pretty much empty.
Yeah,
it was
for sure.
very weird. And I remember telling you like something is off,
yeah.
but we weren't putting two and
but
two
there
together.
was also, I don't know, there was people. It just wasn't.
There was people. It wasn't empty.
Yeah.
But it was not what I was
the crowd
used
that you
to
were
seeing.
expecting.
And it hadn't, in my opinion, it hadn't been long enough for like there to be such a change.
Because I just remember, the reason I remember that there was people is because, again, I was thinking about proposing.
Mm-hmm.
So I also wanted it to be in a way that there wasn't like a big crowd around.
Mm-hmm.
And I did feel like there was moments where I felt like, oh shoot, is this gonna be like, how am I gonna be able to pull this off with all these people that I'm seeing? Mm-hmm. So there was a decent crowd at least.
Yeah.
Maybe not as big as there normally is.
I'm just saying,
but there
in
was
comparison
still
to my many experiences,
yeah.
I knew something was weird.
For sure.
But again, there was no way I was putting a
virus from China,
literally global virus,
for sure,
and Carnivale together.
Yeah.
I just knew something.
It was just like
very weird. Yeah.
So we went to this. I proposed. That I feel like that was one of the coolest trips we've ever had.
It was really cool.
After that, we went
really
to Amsterdam. After the Venice, we went to Amsterdam for a couple days, and then we came back to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as we came back, because this was like a 2-week trip,
mm-hmm.
and so it started on February 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So like 2 weeks was like towards the end of February.
Mm-hmm.
Now at this point,
mm-hmm.
we come back to the U.S. and then immediately as we come back, our jobs put us into like quarantine.
Yeah, I remember I went to work. I was actually at work for a week.
Mm-hmm.
You had stayed home because you moved us. You
Yes.
moved us from our first apartment to our second apartment.
Yes.
We had to move.
That was happening also during this time.
And so I was in work, and then you finally went back to work that
Mm-hmm.
that second week, and the mood changed instantly. I remember you were sent home.
Mm-hmm.
They treated you like you were patient zero.
For sure.
And then
well, we
suddenly,
were a little under the weather.
We had been sick.
And then suddenly at this exact time, they also say in northern Italy, there's this outbreak
Mm-hmm.
now of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had just been there, not even like the week before, and we'd been a little bit under the weather, especially from all the traveling we'd been doing. In Amsterdam, it was raining, so we got rained on a little bit.
I'm sick right now. I'm always sick.
We were on planes.
Mm-hmm.
We had been like doing all these things, so I feel like it's normal for. I don't know if it was COVID. I don't know if we were really patient zero, but we were a little bit under the weather, and we went back into work.
We know we weren't because you got tested.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No, that's when also, like, there wasn't even a COVID test. So that's another story about how I went to the hospital and got this crazy bill.
That bill that you fought.
For sure,
like
I fought for
year.
it, and for multiple years.
For sure, at least.
And eventually
Mm-hmm.
was kind of like discharged or whatever, or they covered it because of like the whole COVID thing, but. It took a lot of back and forth for them to be able to do this for me.
Yeah.
Because I went into the hospital to see if they can test me, and all they did was like take my temperature and give me like a printout of like self-quarantine, this and that. Like if you feel these things, let us know. But the biggest thing is like I didn't have a fever, so they were like, "You're fine, go home, and just self-quarantine." And all of this cost like
thousands.
Thousands.
It was I think it was like more than $3,000 if I remember.
Oh, it was
correctly.
like near 5.
Yeah.
For like them for them just to check my temperature, literally. So we come back from this trip. That happens. We go we are in quarantine immediately.
I even remember like your job setting you up to work from home and it being like the most weird thing.
For sure.
That you had to like set up and stuff. We didn't even have a
desk. They bought me some stuff. They bought me like a monitor.
And it was so strange.
For sure.
Like, and this was like we really were like, even though I don't think at all we were patient zero, we were very much treated as patient zero.
We were very early on, like.
And just simply because, like, the timing of us traveling and stuff like that was so bizarre.
For sure.
And, yeah, I do remember that.
So then, so we had just moved into a new apartment. Mm-hmm. So all this is happening at the same time. We start working from home. And then to bring this back to the original story, we started during like COVID, since we were like had all this time at home, we couldn't really go out. We started like playing video games.
Oh yeah, there's two things we did at the beginning of COVID, and part of this is because one, you were like, obviously like your company transitioning into like mostly remote was kind of wild
for sure
for your company, and then I had gotten a promotion right before this had happened.
Okay.
And I had the world's really not best, I don't even want to call him my boss. He was not my boss. Supervisor? I don't know. He had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah.
It was a disaster. So I literally didn't have anything to do.
For sure.
Even though I did my best, but
then
literally
they sent you home too.
So, but I was home. I was home the second week of March, a week before it was declared a pandemic.
For sure.
But literally, so all we did is we snacked, we DoorDashed,
for sure,
like donuts.
Yep.
And we played video games. Like we dusted off the PlayStation. We were playing Spyro.
For sure.
We were playing Spyro.
And so I made fun of you one day playing Spyro, as couples do, and then we typically also are this type of, I would say, like, this is the way we kind of like banter with each other. It's just like we make fun of each other sometimes. And so we were playing this video game, and I was making fun of you of like the way that you were playing it.
Listen,
and
you're swimming under, and like some people are more sensory.
You were like
seeking,
peeking
and
over.
you're like, I just thought my body.
You're like, hey, you can just.
I don't have the hand-eye coordination, and I thought my body would give me more.
Give you the view.
And then you're over here laughing at me,
and
I'm like over here like doing my best, and like you're supposed to be supportive. And yes, I did have maybe a bigger reaction than I was.
So then all of a sudden you like
I don't
start
usually
crying.
I really
and
really
I was
hurt.
like,
it was
what
a little bizarre.
is going on?
It was a little bizarre.
I remember I was kind of looking. I was like, can I not mess around with you?
We got in a big fight about it. We got in a big fight.
I was like, can I not mess around with you?
I've never like,
because I thought it was like the most like simple of like.
I've never had a reaction
for sure,
like ever in our entire relationship.
So I feel like that should have been a big sign. But
it was
still,
weird.
this is already like
this was March.
4 months
March,
into
maybe
this
like early April.
Yeah.
And then there had been a couple of weird things, but nothing that I thought anything of, because to preface this story, we had been together at this point almost 10 years.
For sure.
I had been told from a very young age, from like 15, 16, based on certain health conditions, that fertility was going to be a big struggle for me.
To be completely honest, at this point in our relationship, like we were coming off of me proposing. I was seriously under the impression that we were going to have kids. At that particular time.
We were not trying, but we certainly weren't not trying.
I just felt
if
like
that makes any sense.
I felt like
we weren't trying, but we certainly weren't not trying.
I just thought it wasn't a real possibility. Like, I don't know. I feel like we had been together for 10 years at this point, and we hadn't gotten pregnant up until this point. And I was like, at this point, there's no way.
There's no way. You don't go this long. You
don't go this long without like. So for me, that was kind of what was going on too.
And in comparison with the health concerns that I had, like,
for sure,
we kind of, and to be honest, up until that point, another part of it was that I had kind of been vocally against having kids. And there's a number of reasons. It's not that I hated kids. I just knew what the undertaking was. And to be clear, and I say this all the time and I will say this for forever, I never changed my mind about how I felt when I was very vocal about not wanting kids. Mm-hmm. Everything that I believed about having kids was true.
Yeah.
I just, I found ourselves in a position where parenthood chose us, and I do think that it chose us for a reason.
Yeah.
But it is not any easier than I thought it was going to be, because it is certainly not easy.
But the big question that people are going to have is, how can you go 5 months without knowing that you're pregnant?
Okay. So
how does that happen?
So there's a couple of things. And first I'll say is that when you hold everybody to the standard that everybody is the same and everybody's on a monthly or the cycle of the moon, it's very unrealistic. And there's a number of things that I believe cause that. I think when we look at our diets, when we look at our processed foods, when we look at the health of especially of our country, I think there's a number of things that impact reproductive health. I even look at our own kids and the things that they eat. How many things do they eat that then you go do research and it impacts their reproductive health? And you're not thinking about their reproductive health when they're little kids. My parents were thinking about reproductive health when they were shoving me full of processed foods. And then you also take into account, health conditions that are passed down. That I also experienced.
Yeah, you were going through some medical.
There was a lot. There's things that I had been experiencing for a long time.
For sure.
But the biggest thing is.
But you're also again not in a regular cycle,
Never.
For sure.
Never. Yeah. In the entirety of our relationship, had I ever been regular.
So that wouldn't be the.
So right away, that was nothing I was ever even really keeping track of.
For sure.
The second thing is, yes, I did have symptoms, but 3 years prior, I had the same symptoms, which were pretty much migraines. I actually lost my job because of this situation that I went to. That I thought it was a lot of stress. I had really extreme migraines. I lost a ton of weight because I could not keep food down, and I had really severe nausea and vomiting. And in that process, I had been diagnosed with something called a prolactinoma, which is essentially like a tumor in the center of your brain, benign, but it does cause a number of issues. One, the symptoms that I was experiencing, and two, it can cause problems with your eyes, which I do experience too. So when I'm experiencing these things, really the entirety of the beginning of the pregnancy that I did not know was going on, I thought that I was just having what I called a flare-up.
So
I didn't think anything of it.
To bring it back, during our trip in Europe, there was these moments that you were I remember in Paris, we went to Montmartre and we
didn't eat and we hiked up a mountain.
Exactly.
And I was like,
and
if you don't
be
fucking
super
feed
nauseous,
me,
but
I'm gonna die.
For sure.
Yeah. I was like, if you don't feed me food right now, I'm going to actually roll down this hill and die.
I remember that.
So there was definitely moments, but again, when you've already experienced something, why would you question it?
Yeah.
But I had noticed some. I don't want to get TMI, but it is true. I had noticed something in the shower.
Okay.
That I had only ever seen one time prior, and it was my best friend 10 years before, almost exactly 10 years before.
Yeah.
Right after she had a baby.
Something
it's the
in her
only
body,
other place I had ever seen something like this.
Got it.
And I remember coming out and saying, I don't know if you see what I'm seeing, but this is very, very weird.
Yeah.
And I think I need to order a pregnancy test. And you laughed at me.
Did I really?
You laughed out loud.
Because I really didn't
It was the most absurd thing I'd ever said.
For me, it was never...
Why in the world would I ever need a pregnancy test?
I feel like it wasn't the first time that we looked for a pregnancy test. But, again, most of the, in the 10 years prior, it was never really, a real thing. So, again, for me, it was, every time we've gotten a pregnancy test, it's never been that. It's been you being sick, like some other stuff that's
and
caused...
I really do think there was only ever like maybe one time where we had like a scare, but it was just us being children who were like, oh, what if, you know. But so I remember you laughed at me and I was like, valid. And I remember I ordered some and I didn't even like get prime ones because I wanted like the fancy ones. And so they weren't even prime. It was like a week or two for that delivery, because delivery times at that time,
because by the time this
strange.
happened, I had completely forgotten that you even said anything.
When I remember we had ordered dinner, and they had just legalized ordering alcohol, and we're like, oh, like we should order like a pitcher, like margaritas. Why not? Why not? There's no rules anymore. Let's just do it. Let's go for it. And
have fun at home.
And the pregnancy test had arrived, and I didn't think anything of it. I didn't even tell you I was taking it.
No, you didn't tell me at all.
Why in the world would I need to tell you this? There's no way. Humanly impossible. Let me just take this just in case, just so I can get this out of the way and move on with our lives.
Little refill time?
We might need a refill for this part. And what are we drinking this evening?
This is a Lambrusco from Medici. I believe is what it says in the front. Yep. Emilia Romagna. Lambrusco from
It's very good. It's very good. I'll never forget. So I go in. Dinner's been delivered. Our margarita's been delivered. Margarita pitcher that we had ordered. I go and I take the test, and I have never seen a positive pregnancy test at this point. But this is what I know, is that on the directions it says you pee on it and you wait 10 minutes.
Yep.
I peed on it.
That's how it typically goes.
I put it next to me, and that bad boy was instantly positive.
It was like,
it wasn't 10 milliseconds.
Why are you even like testing
why
yourself?
are you even here? Go to a doctor immediately.
Sure.
You're basically in labor. It was so positive.
Yeah.
And
all I remember is you coming out of the bathroom and saying, hey, can you go into the bathroom right now?
I need you to figure this out. I need to lay down.
And
I didn't, with no context.
For some reason,
with no context.
What came to my mind was there must be like either a spider or a cockroach, and like this girl's freaking out, and I'm typically the person that handles those type of things, and so I walk into the bathroom, and I'm like, where is it? And you're like, it's on the bathroom counter. So I'm like, it's on the bathroom counter. I look down, and then all of a sudden I see this pregnancy test, and I'm like, wait, what's this? And I look at it, and I'm like, I remember I see the cross, and I'm like, where are the instructions?
And all I hear you from the room. I'm laying down. I'm like trying not to pass out because I'm freaking out.
Where are the
and
instructions?
I hear you pick up the paper, which is right next to on the bathroom counter.
Yep.
And I hear you flip the paper over to read it in Spanish.
You know I read it in English, and I was like, wait, let me double check this.
As if the results would be different.
Let me make sure I go back to my mother tongue with this one, because I don't think I'm reading this right.
This is not translated properly.
Let me make sure this says
plus
the same thing.
different in Espanol.
Let me see if this says the same thing in Spanish, and I definitely did flip that over.
Oh my god, it was so funny.
I was definitely not expecting that at all. Again, mid-COVID.
Totally blindsided.
Mid-COVID.
Totally.
So at this point, you're not working, I don't think, at this point.
I was pretty much
What was
working.
the term that they used back then?
I was furloughed.
Furloughed was a very COVID term.
I was on the brink of
which is like they didn't lay you off, but like they were paying you, but you weren't working. It was a weird COVID situation that a lot of companies kind of went through because they weren't producing anything at that point either. And nobody knew what was going on. But yeah, that was not the news that I was expecting.
Yeah, but I remember we started doing the math, and we were like, oh, okay, this was like almost exactly somewhere in the realm of 8 to 12 weeks after we had gotten engaged. So our minds start suddenly doing math, and we're like,
this happened in Italy.
This 100% happened in Italy.
For sure.
This was an engagement baby.
For sure.
Because I had remembered, like, there was a day in Venice I hadn't felt very good, and I had even said, like, oh, like, am I starting my period? Like, I haven't started my period in 100 years. Why would I start my period here?
For sure.
And then suddenly I'm doing research, and it's like, oh, like, this is what happens when an egg implants in your uterus. Like these are the things that we were trying to look at. Mm-hmm. But the problem was, I did not have health insurance. Yes. So I didn't have a doctor. I didn't have health insurance. And so... And
it was COVID.
It was
hard to,
you can't even
schedule a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, nobody wants to see you. What do you mean you need primary care? Get out of here.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you're dying, get out of here.
It was definitely, like, a weird time for us to find this out and then have to, like... We need to go to a doctor to figure out...
What in the world is going on.
What's going on. And then, at the same time, you're going through this situation at work where you don't have insurance... So, we end up going to, are we going to say it? Like, Planned Parenthood,
yeah, why wouldn't we? Huge shout out to Planned Parenthood.
Shout out to Planned Parenthood for, like, coming in clutch when you don't have insurance and you need to kind of, like, look into these type of things.
Yeah, anything that you think you know about Planned Parenthood
it's not all negative.
Is so wrong.
Right? It's like,
it's not.
Most people think about it.
They are there to care for people when people need care.
For sure. So it was
it is because of what Planned Parenthood did for our family that our beautiful, healthy son is sleeping cozy in his little bed right now.
But, so we go into Planned Parenthood, right?
Yes.
And you go in and
I'm by myself. You couldn't even come with me.
I couldn't come in with
and
you.
I go in there, and, like, mind you, I'm armed with the same
because, again, we don't know how long you've been pregnant for.
So I tell them everything I'm told.
We think it's maybe at the most for a 4-week pregnancy.
I don't have any information. This is what I think. This is my history. And I remember there was this super cute, tiny, she could not have been taller than like 4'8", little old, she's from Ukraine, little old Ukrainian lady, thick Ukrainian accent, and I cannot possibly do it, but just know that this is what I'm dealing with here. And she was the sweetest, gentlest lady, and I tell her all this information as she's about to do the ultrasound, and she's like, and she's looking at me, and she's like, I don't think that you're pregnant. I did not look pregnant.
Yeah, that was the other thing, for sure.
I did not
physically
look pregnant.
You did not look pregnant.
I looked like I
for 5 months, you did not look like
and maybe I'll even post a picture, because I do have a picture of me that same day.
Yeah.
At most, I looked like we had been eating Dunkin' Donuts, which we had.
Well, we had. It was COVID.
We had been eating some Dunkin' Donuts.
We had been.
So I had gained what I thought was Dunkin' Donuts.
A little COVID weight.
No
which
shame.
Everybody was.
I loved it. Why not? I'm here for this.
We live in New York City. We weren't going out as much. We were like indoors.
We were snacking. We were playing video games.
For sure.
So she looks at me and she's like, she almost didn't even want to do the ultrasound. I don't think you're pregnant, but we'll just do this, and then you'll be fine, and you'll be good to go home. She dims the lights. I lay down on the thing. I've never done this before. And she starts, and she's kind of like covering the thing a little bit. And I hear her like, I hear mumbles and I hear grumbles, as Dane Cook once said.
Yeah.
And she turns the thing to me, and I am looking at something that does not make any mathematical sense. So I say to her, oh, can you turn my screen on? And she goes, yeah, there's no way I've seen ultrasound pictures.
Yeah.
This is, and I know what an 8 to 12 week old fetus looks like on an ultrasound picture.
Yeah.
That is a baby. That's a baby that I'm looking at. That's a grown ass baby. That's an almost fully formed baby right there.
For sure.
And I say, can you turn my screen on? Because
like,
this is not
this
my
image
screen.
that you have saved.
I feel like I'm looking at somebody else's medical information. I'm like, I need you to turn my screen on. I don't want other people's information, like HIPAA. And she goes, oh no, honey, that's you. You're pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
And I this was the first time another person had confirmed it.
For sure.
And so that's the first time I'd ever heard these words out of anybody's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and that's me? And she said, yeah, I put you at 20 weeks.
Wow.
And I fully blacked out.
For sure.
I had to just lay there. Everything in the room was black. I have never heard this information,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm pretty sure I'm in a dream.
No,
And you're
so-
not there. Like, there's not another person
I remember
there.
I was in the car outside of it because I couldn't go inside with you. So all I could do was drive you there, and then literally.
You should have been
like,
on the phone. I should have had you on the phone, but like we didn't think anything of it.
Yeah. You were just gonna go get like a quick check. It was like just go in, get checked, like, and
Figure
then
out a plan.
we'll figure out something. But
Yeah.
we need to figure something like immediately, just to
Confirmation.
like for sure.
Confirmation.
Like we just need to go to some sort of doctor, and that was like the easiest option. And I remember waiting outside and you like coming out and showing me. I feel like the printout.
I didn't even know how to process this information.
For sure.
I'm like in tears. I'm like all of these things that you see of like, I didn't know I was pregnant. Like, that was me.
For sure.
I didn't even believe it myself, and I don't know. I remember your reaction was very much the same because
Yeah.
I think you couldn't even process it either. It
Yeah, I feel
really did
like-
not make any sense to us.
I'm trying to remember what my reaction was. I feel like I was optimistic in a way, just because I thought it was such a bizarre thing for me that I thought would never happen. That when it did happen, I was like, man, this must be some sort of sign that the universe is like putting us in this situation, even though it was a scary moment to be even considering having a child, because like we didn't even know what COVID really was at this point either.
Yeah, this was April 2020.
But I'm very much of the belief that I think like our experience through COVID was so much different than anybody else's, just because of the fact that we got to live through that, through like a pregnancy, through COVID, and kind of like just focus on that, and not even think about any, like, when a lot of people started feeling cooped up and like, oh, I need to get out of my house, I can't, be locked up anymore. For us, it was like, we're taking care of our baby, and like,
we started a new chapter.
There was like a mission for us to be, to go through this, and it was, I think it made it a lot easier, at least for me it did.
For sure. And I do just want to say, like, something that gets on my nerves is that people do call him a COVID baby, but in order for me to have been as pregnant as I was and for him to be born when he was, I would have gotten pregnant in 2019. So no, he was not a COVID baby. I only found out in COVID, and he was born during COVID.
He was born during COVID.
I consider COVID babies anybody conceived after March 2020.
For sure.
Those were COVID babies. No hate to COVID babies, but he was not a COVID baby. He was a surprise baby.
I am grateful though that enough time passed from that point. So you found that at 5 months to the point where he was born, to where I was able to be inside the room.
For sure. That's super lucky.
Because not a lot of parents, like, what I experienced through the early stages of not being able to be with you in like your doctor's appointments. Like, I don't think I went to any doctor's appointment with you.
Nope.
Because they were like, we're not accepting anybody else, like only patients.
The only thing we did do, which we paid out of pocket for,
was the 3D.
Is we did the 3D scan.
That was shortly after.
That was right after
the first one, because we also wanted like more ultrasounds.
Yeah, well, when I went to Planned Parenthood, she didn't like confirm. She confirmed the pregnancy. They did blood work. She gave me like all of the basic information.
For sure.
And I went home and talked to you about it.
For sure.
But like I couldn't even. Thank God she didn't tell me like gender or anything of this stuff. Like I couldn't have even handled that. Like she could tell I was having a full mental breakdown. Because you also have to consider, like, as a person who did not anticipate having kids, I thought we were just going to have a bunch of cute dogs and live our best lives and travel. And
as a person without insurance either.
For sure.
That was kind of
knowing that I had health concerns, like, is this baby even healthy?
For sure.
Am I healthy enough to have this baby? I remember being very scared.
That was a big concern for us.
That what if something happens to me?
For sure.
What if something is going on with this baby that I'm growing? That now, what if it's too late to help the baby?
For sure.
What if we find ourselves in an even worse situation where you have to make really, really difficult decisions that I'm not even mentally capable of
at the same time, it took us a while to be able to get doctor's appointments.
That's a whole
Again,
story.
you didn't have insurance, so we had to, maybe a story for another episode, go through the process of like quickly getting married during this time. So, and
there was no quickly getting married during this time.
There wasn't. You can just go to the courthouse and get married back then.
We had to go.
The courthouse was closed.
Yeah.
So then we had to like submit this like special request, and then we'll have a story time about our Zoom wedding.
We can talk about our wedding.
Our Zoom wedding.
Although some people are going to get their feelings hurt by that conversation. Watch it.
A lot of people are going to be finding out just
how long we have been married, because not everybody knows how long we've been married.
For sure. Because that was like officially the first time we got married was.
Yeah. Well,
for medical reasons as well. Like, this is something that we needed to take care of.
Yeah.
Because you were pregnant. 5 months pregnant at this point,
and I needed
to quickly figure out what we were like,
sucked.
What was the health of the baby? Mm-hmm. Like all these studies that you do during the first 5 months, we had all of a sudden skipped.
I wasn't on prenatals. I wasn't, and this is what I will say is like, and this is funny that we're drinking right now.
Yeah.
Thank God though that we have never been big drinkers.
Because we were in Europe, we were like. And not to say you did have maybe like a glass of wine or two, but like
for sure, but
nothing excessive.
Nothing that, thank God, like would have impacted.
Sure.
And obviously, like having that baby the second time around, I didn't do any of those same things.
For sure.
But it was fine. It was fine because we have like a very minimal relationship. With alcohol, and like I remember even like talking about like going to do something fun in Amsterdam, like going to a rave. And thank God I wasn't feeling.
Thank God we didn't go to that rave.
I was like,
I wanted to go to a rave.
I was like that sounds fun, but like I feel like crap. Like I don't. And now I know why I felt like crap, right? Yeah. But like in any other world, I probably been like, even though it's not really my thing, and it's not really our thing, and it's never been our thing.
It was like
when in
once
Amsterdam,
in a lifetime
like why don't we just go do this fun thing? And for whatever reason, I could not get through it. And I even remember that before I found out I was pregnant, I remember I just kept having this craving of wanting to take a hot bath and pour a glass of wine, and I could never bring myself to do it. For whatever reason, it didn't make any sense. And I'd be like, oh, today's the day I'm going to take a super hot bubble bath and pour a glass of wine. Not one time did I ever do it. And then what do you know? I'm pregnant, But it was crazy. We were able to be there, though. We were able to do like the gender reveal. That's also a whole other thing, because we started having this conversation of like, here's what I believe is the way that we came into parenthood was on purpose. As much of a roller coaster as it was, this was the only way that we were ever going to become parents.
I feel like it
and I truly believe that we were chosen for this journey.
Yeah.
And it was a really powerful atypical experience that we got to have him.
It definitely is. It's a story that we'll be able to tell for the rest of our lives.
And even though it was bizarre and our families, and I think I said it in the last episode, like we have family and friends to this day that think that we just like lied and tried to pretend
for sure
that we were,
that we didn't know that we were pregnant.
And trust me, like there's not a single person on this planet that wants to fast track parenthood the way that we did it.
For sure.
It was terrifying. Like the things that we like, you couldn't even like buy regular furniture I remember we were making our registry, and there was like places that were
Everything
shipping
was
for
in
months.
back order for sure.
I mean, our registry
like the
was
supply
impacted
chains were,
by the supply chain.
were disrupted at this point for sure.
I mean, we were just like, what's the bare minimum that we need
Yeah.
to keep a child alive?
Yeah.
And how do we get it?
It was definitely like a very bizarre time, but it was. I also feel very fortunate that I got to work from home this whole time. That you were pregnant, even after he was born. I was safe like for the whole first year of his whole first year. I pretty much worked from home, so I was able to like be with you guys while at the same time like work and like do what I needed to do.
Yeah.
So that's also I feel like we were very fortunate in that sense.
Yeah. And even though like I will say that you do sometimes have a little bit of amnesia, which we all do. Like I even have amnesia about like the whole process of pregnancy and having a baby, and we're definitely not having any more kids, but like I look at our kids and I'm like, if I was a complete Looney Tune, we'd have 100 of these kids because they're so amazing.
For sure.
But you being able to be in it with me was really, really important for even me. Like, as a person who did not anticipate parenthood, who did not anticipate motherhood, us being able to do it together was really pivotal.
Yeah.
Even though it was hard, it was really, really hard. There's things that people don't talk about or prepare for. Postpartum depression, postpartum rage, what it does to the relationship.
That's a whole other episode. I think like just us going through our first like son and like our first baby, kind of like I remember the first couple of nights of him being home, going into maybe like the first month or two, him like waking up in the middle of the night and us both waking up, and both from my point of view, I wanted to like be there for you and help you, like whether it be like changing a diaper or whatever. And it was the biggest disservice that we were doing each other, because then we were like both not sleeping. Where we learned, I feel like the second time around, we learned from that experience, and we did it. It felt a lot easier.
The perfect system.
Just because we were like, there's no need for us to both be awake. We should take turns. Like, if the baby wakes up at a certain point, before this time, I'll take him. And if the baby wakes up after X hour, then you take him. And then with him though, we didn't do that, and we were going literally through like the closest I've ever felt to being in some sort of like psychosis.
Oh, 100%.
It was
torture
with him, because he was also a very colicky baby. So he wouldn't sleep. He would wake up like every 2 hours.
I don't know that I agree with that. I think it's that something that you're forgetting that we take for granted.
Yeah.
Is that we were very committed to breastfeeding.
Okay.
And we did not know what we were doing. Yeah. Because we did not have anybody
for sure
that had ever breastfed before around us. Sure. None of our friends, none of our family members. We did not understand fully burping a baby. Yeah. We did not understand fully getting
I do remember getting him even to latch the first couple of days.
The first month?
They sent us home with the baby, and I remember saying,
we didn't know how to feed him.
How do they let people go home with a baby when, there's something must be. They should make you take a test.
The whole system is rough.
Before you go home with the baby.
The whole system is rough.
We were two people that had never had a baby before. We were in this strange time where, again, our parents weren't able to be with us.
Nor did we want anybody over.
Nor did we want anybody with a newborn baby. Going through this, global pandemic and not knowing, at least here in New York, there was thousands of people dying.
For sure. I think that's a really important context to remind people is that we are in New York City.
For sure.
Which at the beginning of COVID
there
was
like
the epicenter.
Not enough space to even house.
It was, and I mean, we can just really only go by what was on the news, but even based on what we were seeing locally, it was not a safe place.
For sure.
And we did not want people coming here. We did not want people traveling here. We did not want people bringing. And then, of course, there was all the politics about it that started dividing people.
Yeah.
And we just didn't want any part of it. But, and this is something that, you know, maybe I'll want to deep dive, maybe even on my own as I explore, like, what my own online presence looks like that I'm very passionate about when it comes to breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
But we do not support families enough. We do not provide enough information.
For sure.
We do not provide enough postpartum care. Yeah. Why is it that at 6 weeks after having a baby, we had to schlep all the way from here to Manhattan to see a doctor and be cleared after 6 weeks when you're postpartum for life? Some studies say that you're technically postpartum between 3 to 7 years.
Yeah.
And that doesn't account for the entire biological reset that you experience.
For sure.
You birth a baby, but you also birth an entirely different version of yourself.
For sure.
And nobody prepares you for that. And you weren't prepared for it. I wasn't prepared for it. But I am a totally different person.
But I'm just gonna say, like, we were so sleep deprived during this time that we were definitely going through like some sort of like delusions
for
and, like,
sure,
where we would like wake up and like not remember who put the baby down, who, like, if he had woken up, if that was just a dream. Like that was such a strange experience for us. But it was also because it was our first time and we had no idea what we were doing. As opposed to, for sure, our second time was a million, like, the complete opposite of that.
Yeah.
I feel like we knew exactly where we were getting ourselves into. We knew exactly what to do, what schedule to have.
But I even remember you being really concerned. Like, is he getting enough? Are you nursing him?
For sure.
I'm like, I don't freaking know. Have you ever nursed a baby before? Like, I don't know.
Well, I remember, like,
why is he still crying?
Like, even,
because
like, for him to latch at the beginning, you were like...
I had no idea.
You were like, over him.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was, the only way that you could get him to latch. And I was like, I know that's not what it's supposed to be, but shout out for you, like, trying also
Kallie
to,
mom.
like, getting him to...
There was a video
to latch
that I finally found on Kallie Mom that I watched.
I just knew it wasn't sustainable.
It wasn't. But I was very committed to breastfeeding.
For sure.
And thank God I committed to it.
And then you found some, like, really good videos.
I found this video on Kallie Mom that was moms in India and Africa latching their babies.
I remember that's when it switched.
This video, I found it,
yeah,
and that was the video that changed everything.
And
that video,
I feel like moms don't talk about this enough, like how difficult it is, really, to breastfeed.
And then when you're in, like, the height of postpartum, you're talking about, like, your hormones completely dropping. Hormones that you spent 9 months, right, building up. And then suddenly it's like dropping down on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And then you're also trying to breastfeed, but it's impossible to breastfeed when you don't have support systems. You don't have lactation consultants built into insurance. We had to pay out of pocket if we were going to get a lactation consultant. You know, you don't have anybody providing real, thorough postpartum care. And then breastfeeding has not been the norm for such a long time that we did not know. We didn't have anybody to ask.
For sure.
But I just knew that felt wrong. And it wasn't even about me trying to be stubborn. I just knew that this is what my body was meant to do.
Yeah.
And here I am. I have been breastfeeding for 5 years.
Sure.
Non-stop. For 5 years. And it is because of that video on Kallie Mom. And it is because of our commitment to navigating that without any help.
Yeah.
And but it was really, really hard. It's really hard to put that pressure on families in the beginning when you don't know what you're doing and you're sleep deprived and you're like, do we just give a bottle? And I totally get why parents do that. I totally get why families do it. It makes perfect sense.
For sure.
Why the system is set up for people to fail in that arena.
Yeah.
And
it's not easy. It's like
it's
at
not
least
easy.
I know I can see how
Getting over the hump is really hard, and we did it, and I'm very, very proud of it. It's like it's the biggest thing I'm proud
Cheers
of.
to that, because that definitely made a like I know it was a very difficult thing to kind of like get through, but then for sure, like as you mentioned, like you've been now breastfeeding for 5 years.
5 years straight. Breastfed through my second pregnancy.
For sure.
And it's something I'm very
because like
passionate
as
about.
he was pretty much weaning off right when as you were getting pregnant or that.
You know, I still see infancy is at least to 3 years old.
Yeah.
I don't think you really see that change into like toddlerhood, little kidness until about 3, because that's when they start talking. That's when they start kind of becoming their own person. But you know, it's been a really big part of our lives. But that's also what made the second baby so much easier, right? Because we didn't have to worry about lacting.
No, I feel
she
like
was born,
at
and
the
then
point,
boom, here we go. We got this.
When Ladybug
okay.
was born, we were like, we know what we need to do. Like
I nursed her. Here you go. Take her downstairs.
Sure.
I'm
I
sleep.
remember like my whole beginning of my first paternity leave stint. I remember I wouldn't go to sleep until like 3-4 in the morning. I was like, I'm not even gonna put myself through the torture of going to sleep and then waking up in 2 hours. Might as well just like take it as it's coming, just stay awake with her, and then eventually like when 3-4 in the morning rolled around, I'd be like, all right, here you go, she's been sleeping, or you know, whatever. And then yeah, it definitely worked out for us.
For sure. So I'm really proud of us. We've had 2 babies now, and it's been a journey.
Yeah.
And they're really
2
the
beautiful,
best,
healthy
the
babies.
best, healthiest.
For sure, when
happiest.
you're gonna have kids, I remember always people saying like, "Oh, I just want them to be healthy," and that is definitely something that like when you're going through these times, it's like it is. We've also gone through through some stuff as well between our 2 pregnancies. So
Which is a whole other conversation.
a whole other
That's
story
really
that we'll
important.
have.
In stories, those stories are really powerful and
For sure.
profound. But there's a happy ending, and,
Yeah.
and
At the end of the day, we have these 2 beautiful babies that
we could not
we
be
couldn't
luckier.
ask for anything
we
else.
just could not be luckier to have them. And I do. It's hard, this, you know, doing a forum like this. Like we want to show them off, you know, because they're so beautiful and funny and cute, and they're like made for this. I mean,
sure.
Bubba's a superstar. Ladybug is like, I have never heard a baby her age have such attunement to music.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
She
You
does.
are scrolling on whatever app,
Yeah.
and suddenly the Harry Potters come up, and all she
It's
does is
so
catch a glimpse, and she starts singing exactly
Yes.
the Harry Potter prologue.
She's really good at it.
Perfectly.
Yes, she's so good.
She's
Like that, you
19 months old.
hear it and you're like, she's humming the Harry Potter like theme song.
You don't even have to guess.
Yeah,
19
sure.
months old.
That's really.
And it's not just that. Like, there's songs that she sings sometimes that I'm like,
For sure.
she's very, very attuned. And
Yeah.
it's like, it almost scares me because she's so beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like to like toot her own horn, but like, wow.
For sure.
She's so beautiful.
We've done a really good
and
job.
she's so like I'm scared to even show her to the world. To be honest, I don't. I want to protect her.
That's another reason we have our clouds.
For sure.
We also want to kind of like
For sure.
protect our kids.
For sure.
While
they're little.
For sure.
And I do think that maybe one day there will be opportunities to share them. But right now, just know they're even cuter than you could imagine. They're even smarter than you could imagine. They're even better than anybody could imagine.
Yeah.
And we are just so lucky to have them because we are 2 people who could not have possibly imagined that this would be our lives. If you would have told us, I'll say 6 years ago, that this was going to be our lives, we would have said there's a 0% chance
Sure.
that's even a possibility for us.
Yeah.
And that's not even an avenue that we're willing to explore. And so here we are.
Yes.
And it did not come without its really, really difficult obstacles.
Yeah.
And we've somehow managed to do it together, and everybody's alive and healthy.
For sure. No, we've done a good job.
And now we get to just those same video games that we were playing when we found out we were playing with Bubba. Like, he loves Spyro.
For sure. Yes.
He loves it. Like,
that's
he's so
that's
into
so
it.
cool that we've kind of gone full circle.
For sure.
Where like we were playing Spyro during COVID,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing that you were pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
and now we play Spyro with Bubba,
Mm-hmm.
and like for sure that's been a full circle story there.
For sure. It's so cute. And we
sure.
watch all our little shows. Like, we're watching this show on Netflix,
Build the band.
I keep calling it the wrong name. Building the Band?
Building the band.
Building the Band. I'm so into it right now.
For sure.
I'm so into it. I love
It's
it.
a good show.
It's
I feel
like-
like we're from a generation also that we saw a lot of bands growing up. So we have a lot to reference, from Backstreet Boys to NSYNC
My first concert was NSYNC.
to...
When I was 8 years old.
That's pretty cool. To Destiny's Child.
Mm-hmm.
To S Club 7.
Oh, I love that stuff. The whole time I'm literally
Like, that's a very millennial kind of band that
I-
was that existed at a certain point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Now I just want to see S Club 7, but I'm sure that their music is
They're
so
probably-
copyrighted. But just know that I am singing the S Club 7 theme song in my head if you want to hum along with me. But
we all know what the S Club 7 song
literally,
is. For
literally go give them a view after. Maybe I'll even link that
For sure.
in the video, just because just know I'm jamming out to that after this. But no, literally I'm watching this and so one, Bubba just came off of a week of rock band camp,
For sure.
and he had a show. And he
So
got to
think of
sing.
School of Rock.
School of Rock, kind of.
The School
And
of
he
Rock,
got to
for
sing and play the piano, play the guitar.
Play the guitar.
And he's
for
such
sure.
a little star. And then to watch this kind of stuff, he's such a, we call him a pop girly, but not just pop girls. He does love Sabrina Carpenter,
Yeah.
Ariana Grande, Chaperone, but he loves Harry Styles, Benson Boone, who I'm really hopeful we can get tickets for his birthday.
Yeah.
Because he just loves this type of stuff.
But he also likes Backstreet Boys.
Oh my gosh.
For sure.
Oh my gosh. They're such, literally.
His range of music is very
He
out
loves
there.
it so much, but I love watching this. But I will say,
He loves Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Post Malone
for
is
sure.
a really big one for him.
For sure. He's in his little Sunflower
For sure.
era, for sure, which is just super cute. But I do wish, just as my own selfishness, I have, which maybe we'll dive into at a certain point, but I had big dreams going into music,
Mm-hmm.
and I did pursue it at one point.
Yeah.
And what actually ended that was the start of the diagnosis that I received with the tumor
Yeah.
that we talked about. But I would have loved to go on a show like this. I did do The Voice a couple of times,
Yeah.
and I just was never prepared enough, I feel.
For sure.
And I should have been more prepared, and I just wasn't, because it wasn't really my thing.
Yeah.
But
We've
a
always
band,
been people that have gotten out. We did the Big Brother audition too.
And Big Brother is starting soon. Ooh,
For sure.
We should talk about Big Brother, because we did do an audition, and I don't know what was that guy's name. Who was he in our group? He was in
Yes. The guy with the cowboy hat.
Clyde or
Cliff?
Cliff.
Was it Cliff?
Cliff was in my group.
For sure.
And I remember at the time, that's what I was seeing, I think.
And
Or at the beginning of seeing.
it was Haley. Was her name right?
Haley was there. We met Haley.
Was there? We met Haley from. I don't remember what season she was on,
season.
but she is married to Alex Caruso, or engaged, from the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Good for her.
He just won the NBA championship as well.
So she got a nice ring.
He got a ring, and she got a ring.
He got a ring?
He gets a ring for winning the championship.
I didn't understand that reference. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about sports. That's your thing.
But
we did.
But we did run into her as
she
well.
She was there, and I felt like we did really good. I felt like for it to be our first audition, like we were doing good.
Yeah.
Like people really liked us. Like
for
we
sure.
were. As two introverts, like we really showed up there and like we worked it a little bit.
For sure.
And the only thing I will say is that I definitely embarrassed myself singing because I was so nervous, and they were like, "Oh, you should sing," and I was not.
Oh, you sang?
Yeah, they asked me to sing
because they did separate us too.
Yeah,
you went with the group
because they saw that we were
and
together.
I went with another
and I remember
group.
Cliff was in my group, and I remember I could not tell you what I sang.
Yeah.
I could not tell you if it was good because it probably wasn't, because I was so nervous because I was so caught off guard.
For sure.
And they were probably like, "Oh, this girl's a hot mess." I don't know.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't that bad, but we did do that, and that was super fun.
That was
we've been fans for a minute.
We should do a Big Brother show. So Big Brother's about to come out
soon.
I
actually really like that idea,
and
we'd be good because we're gonna watch it anyways.
We always watch Big Brother,
Yeah.
so might as well
even Bubba's
commentate it.
Bubba's gonna be like,
He's gonna be like, I want to be on those episodes.
Talking about Big Brother.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to like wear a
Stay
Spider-Man
tuned, guys.
mask.
We might do a little Big Brother.
No, I'm actually super into that idea because we do love Big Brother, and I think that would be such a good idea, and we do have such a history with it.
We watched it. We started watching it. I would like to say that season that had the Quack Pack Alliance with Dan, with Boogie.
Danielle was on that season.
Janelle
was on that season.
Janelle.
That was when they had like the 4 All-Stars.
The 4 All-Stars that came in for sure. That
like,
was our first season that we watched.
And that was a good season.
And that was a great season.
That was
Dan's funeral season.
Epic.
For that to be the first season that we ever watched of Big Brother, no wonder we're still watching Big Brother to this day.
For sure.
Like that funeral whole situation is probably one of the top Big Brother moments too.
For sure. Just to watch like some of the best players
for sure
to ever play.
Yeah.
And then also be able to be exposed to new players was really cool.
Yeah.
But no, we're definitely. I don't know if we're like super duper fans, but we're definitely super fans.
Yeah, we can. I feel like
and
we're
definitely gonna watch, and we can definitely talk about it.
For sure.
What a fun way to like explore, like even like evolve our relationship with Big Brother.
Yeah.
And like that's still something that I don't
maybe
know, like,
Julie Chen wants us on the.
Being a parent, I don't know, but like.
Would you ever be on Big Brother?
I would. Maybe when they were a little bit older.
You know which show I would prefer to be on.
For sure, and I don't know why you don't audition for it. I don't know.
I would love to be on Survivor.
I don't know why you don't audition.
So
for it.
CBS, if you ever see this and you have a spot for Survivor,
they're gonna say audition. Send us your tape.
I've auditioned before.
Like once.
I auditioned
one time. You gotta do it like multiple times.
For sure.
They want to see your commitment to it. You should totally do it.
But Survivor would be a show I would love to be in.
You should totally do it. I feel like we're really big fans of those kinds of things. So, like we've always talked about going on Amazing Race.
The Amazing Race would be another one.
Would be super fun. I think
for sure.
I would just be so scared that we would have like the most insane argument, and it would be really because I feel like that happened on this last season. Where there was that couple.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Who was just like where
they were
you kind
tough
of
to watch.
You kind of look at them and you're like, oh, why did you guys come here? Go to therapy instead.
Don't air out your stuff.
It was,
on TV.
It was a little hard to watch.
Yeah.
What else are we watching? You know what show I just?
Traitors.
Ooh, Traitors. We do love. But you know what I will say about Traitors?
And Bubba loves Traitors. So.
Bubba's. Well, see, that's totally up our alley.
For sure.
But I remember, if you remember, the first season had a mixture of regular people and celebrities, and now they don't do that anymore.
Well, Suri won the first season.
Well, but
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. But maybe we get like just famous enough to be able to be on.
Oh, for 100%.
I just don't know.
It's just those are all very different games that you have to play.
Yeah.
Different ways.
That's where like Dan was on the Traitors.
He was.
And but the problem was that they made him a traitor. They shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
They
he
shouldn't have
did.
done that. And I do remember I'll never really forgive them for putting bananas on there and for them voting out bananas right away. Bananas went home like right away.
But Bananas has
would've
been in the
loved to
challenge
see
for
him.
like 30 seasons. He is a person that you cannot even. And who voted him out? It was
everybody.
No. But there
Or
was
did they
somebody
murder
from
him?
his.
I don't know.
Was it Dan?
Maybe.
I think it was Dan.
Maybe. I don't know.
And Dan went in being a traitor, and he was like, I can't leave bananas around. Like, I need to get rid of this guy immediately. And then who won at the end? CT and Trishelle. That was the CT and Trishelle season. So and somebody from the challenge ended up winning anyway.
Yeah.
So that's another show.
Because challenge people are just too.
They're game players.
Yeah, but they're like lifelong
game
game players. But that's the difference between like a challenge player and a Big Brother player. A Big Brother doesn't get to play it every single season, where it's a challenge player, they have seasons and seasons and seasons under their belt. But
For sure.
the next season of Survivor is also going to be really good because I know there's a lot of cool people. Mike White's going to be on there.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're big.
Like an all-star season.
Mike White, White Lotus fans. And I'd love to see him. I would love to be tipsy on a beach with Mike White.
With Mike White. He's
I would
definitely
love to be on
done
White
it.
Lotus.
We just watched School of Rock today. I watched it with Boa today.
Oh, is he?
And he wrote that movie.
Did he really?
He wrote School
Oh
of Rock.
my gosh, that's so cute.
He's definitely like
for sure. He's
somebody
on my
that-
list of like cool dudes. Remember
sure.
we used to have this list of cool dudes?
For sure.
And another thing that I just finished that I loved that could have been a comfort show if it weren't for like the last 5 seconds. And this is a spoiler alert, kind of, but not really, because you don't know what I'm talking about. But I watched and finished 4 seasons. And it was so good.
With Steve Carell?
It was so good. Tina Fey,
Wow.
Steve Carell, and this is
That's
something
another show that you need how many times you've seen The Office.
I could probably do like my whole own thing about The Office.
How many times do you think, in
Dozens.
all honesty,
Like
if
at
you would
least
have to say
20.
from beginning to end, from the first season 1, episode 1 to the last episode, how many times have you watched it through and through?
20 at a minimum.
20 times.
20 times at a minimum.
That's
And that is probably like a third
insane.
of those are the episodes where most of them are the extended episodes.
For sure.
Because why
The Peacock
not?
ones.
Yeah, on Peacock. But for sure, at a minimum, 20 times. I love that show so much.
Wow,
It's such a comfort
for sure.
show. But
I've seen it probably like 3 times. Like,
I mean, you're always like, oh, we should watch that, and then you watch one episode, and then it's like, no, you don't.
I really like it. It's just that there's so much stuff on
Yeah.
TV. It's just hard to.
Yeah, that happens. And well,
To
that happened,
always come back
That happened
to.
with us with 4 seasons. Like we started watching 4 seasons. You should probably watch 4 seasons.
Yeah.
It was a really, really good show, and my greatest takeaway is you'll laugh about this when we watch it, or if we watch it, or if you watch it. Should this relationship not work out at some point in our lives, just know that I found my type, and my new type is Coleman Domingo. I am so in love with him.
Yeah.
He's as gay as they get,
Interesting.
and I am obsessed with him. First of all,
Yeah. I don't think I know who that is, but I will.
you will see him, and you'll know who he is.
Okay.
I actually have like some of your birthday gifts, and I literally bought things of like, would Coleman Domingo wear this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because his style, but even just like his persona,
His aura?
yeah. Like I need a Coleman Domingo in my life. So if
Yeah,
there's a
I don't know
Coleman
why I
Domingo
did
out
it.
there that wants to be my friend,
Yeah.
that's what I need in life is a Coleman Domingo. I really fell in love with him in the show. He was just so
I
good.
wish I would have watched that show with you. We're just watching The Bear now,
We are watching there.
which is in its
Jeremy
final
Allen White.
season.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's the final season. I think that was the right choice for
For sure.
them to do a final
There's so
season.
much stress the body can handle too. Like I do feel like
For
the
sure, like the tension in there.
the bear
is-
gives you a little bit of anxiety when you watch it.
Yeah.
And
but Jeremy Allen White does such a good job
For sure.
at, like, I really love to see, we've only watched, 2 episodes, but I'd really love to see how his character evolves.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he's doing that
in
this season, which is really cool to watch.
He's already at the...
But I'd really love to see just, like, a healthy way
Mm-hmm.
of managing the stress that comes with life.
For sure.
And
But that show does tell you a
something.
lot of amazing things too about, like, how every second counts.
For sure.
And, like, something that we want to do even with this that we're doing, like,
For sure.
every moment, every day, every, like, chance we get to pour a little bit into this project is so important. And a lot of times there's going to be obstacles for us to put things out there, and hopefully we can be putting out, like, material or episodes multiple times a week, but it's not easy a lot of times.
Yeah.
And, like, but that show touches on that, like, in a certain way, like how it's very, like, everything you do is so important, and, like,
For sure.
how every day you have to kind of take advantage of it.
For sure. And I even said that, like, after we finished the first episode, like, just the message in the show is so relevant to what we're doing here.
For sure.
And I think it's relevant to anybody who wants to pursue the hard stuff.
Yeah,
Who does not want to take the easy way out.
for sure.
That show does such a great job of showing, like, just because you choose the path that calls you,
Mm-hmm.
what it's asking
There's
you
going to be
do
some obstacles, and,
is harden yourself and
sure.
put on your armor and be ready to fight for what matters to you. And I feel like even before we watch this, we've had a couple of these conversations before we even filmed the first episode, but between the first episode to now,
Mm-hmm.
we've had quite a number of these conversations of, like, if this is what we want,
Yeah.
we have to go
We have
for
to
it.
go for it, yeah.
And
for sure.
nothing can stop us. Not a computer crashing. Like, okay, if we have to buy a new
That's
computer, it's because this was what we're supposed to
I
do.
love that we're bringing this full circle, right? Because that is how we started this episode, and I feel like that's how we should probably end it.
Yeah.
Is talking about how we've gone into this project, how we've had, like, bumps in the road, and, like, things that probably a lot of people that have embarked in this journey have run into and said, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, this is just too complicated
I wanted
for
to
me
get
to
up 100
even
times.
like figure this out and even want to do. I'm giving up, and we decided, like, no, we're gonna figure this out.
We're gonna do it.
You know, whether it be the first episode not have a wide shot.
Mhm.
Now we've figured
We almost
out.
didn't even have a wide shot here.
Yeah.
And then I was like, we just bought this computer. Let's put it to work.
Let's
hope it works.
do
And you know
something,
what?
for
The
sure.
quality might not be perfect, but you know what? We've got a wide shot.
We have a wide shot.
We got a wide
sure.
shot. And then hopefully we'll get enough, or no, I don't want to say hopefully. Skirt! We will have enough viewers and we'll be able to buy a nice wide camera
For sure.
soon.
Yep.
And you'll hopefully see the evolution of this
Of
because
this,
we're
for sure.
regular people
Yeah.
who just really feel called to do this. And,
Yeah.
and that is just echoing from the first episode, echoing from everything we've talked about. And I think the moral of the story is from everything we've done, from pursuing this to stopping into parenthood, is that there's something about us we have never given up.
For sure.
Even when it has felt like our backs have been against the wall
Yeah.
and our only choice is to walk away, we have never given up.
I
So
will
go
say that
us.
we have been we've been grinders.
We really have.
Like, we definitely haven't had anything handed to us, and I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us for really sticking with just everything that we do.
Sure.
And let this be just the next journey we embark in.
Sure.
For
sure.
So yeah, I guess like this episode, subscribe, comment. What else?
Share.
Share it to your friends.
Comment on it.
Like I said, comment for
Oh.
sure.
Comment on it.
Let us know what you again want us to talk about.
Ooh, tell us what you're watching
For sure.
because we love Rex.
For sure.
Tell us if you
Or watching any of the things that we
for sure
said we're watching.
For sure. What your thoughts are on
sure.
any of those things. And if you know anybody who may not have known they were pregnant, I want to hear the story.
For sure.
Make me feel better about myself.
I feel like 5 months is hard to beat, but if somebody out there has a story of finding out later than 5 months,
I want to find out when you were
let
in
us know.
labor, when you went to the hospital because you were like, I don't
There
even
has
know.
been those stories,
I hurt
right?
my back, and then suddenly, like, boom! Guess what? You're in labor.
You see those stories.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like,
Tell me that story. I want to hear
She
about
knew
it.
she was pregnant when she was like giving labor, or like when she was in labor.
Literally. I want to know those stories. But yeah, no, I like that. And thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for watching, guys.
We'll meet you next time on our cloud in Brooklyn.
Peace out.
Bye. Now I'm gonna go use a nebulizer.
Nebulizer. She is sick, guys.
And go to sleep.
Let's do this.